The Succulent Selection College Basketball Podcast, ACC edition, with me, Sniffy McGee, is next. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Succulent Selection College Basketball Podcast Show. Brand spanking new podcast. The paint is still wet on this baby. Over a year ago in the making, finally got the time, the energy, and the Asian discipline to get this thing going. My name is Sniffy McGee, and I'm here to take you on a journey of college basketball glory. We're going to win some money this year. Let's do it. Follow me, like me, subscribe to me, send me a message. I'm on X at the Sniffy McGee. Send me anything, give me a fuck you. I don't care. Just send me something. On this edition, I'm going to be previewing the ACC conference, the Atlantic Coast Conference, the All Coast Conference, or whatever the fuck it should be called nowadays. This 18-team debacle of a league is in its second year of this iteration. But before I do that, let's hit on some news and notes from the past week. We start with a somber one, as Sister Jean, Loyola Chicago's chaplain, has passed away at the ripe old age of 106. The most popular nun of all time, I guess, behind Mother Teresa. Sister Jean, known as the patron saint of winning, or at least it should be. Make her a saint, god damn it. Don't make me come over there. She was born in 1919. Jesus fucking Christ. 1919, that's World War I time. I knew she was in trouble, though, when she announced her retirement about 2 weeks ago. I figured she wouldn't make it to March. Didn't even make it in November. The Ramblers will be wearing a Sister Jean patch on their jerseys this season in her honor. Moving on, this is the final year of the WAC conference, as they are currently at only 7 teams for this season. And we'll be playing a triple round robin to get to 18 conference games. We're going to play each team 3 times. Next year, they are merging with the ASUN Conference to form some kind of a consortium and will be rebranded as the United Athletic Conference, or UAF. The ASUN and the UAF will be separate, and each will maintain their auto bids for the NCAA tournament. I'm not going to go through the teams that are going to be in these conferences next year because it's too far away. We're not worried about that right now. Also, Little Rock will be leaving the OVC to join the UAF next year. Once again, we'll worry about that next year. Now, let's start with the ACC preview. Last year, only 4 teams made the NCAA tournament. It was Duke, Louisville, Clemson, and North Carolina. North Carolina crowbarred their way in there. Thank you, Bubba Cunningham. This year, the conference looks a little bit stronger and is hoping to get more teams in. Well, in order to do that, they're going to have to be better in the non-con, because that's where the ACC got beat up last year. They got totally destroyed in the ACC SEC Challenge. The only way they're going to get more teams in is if the bottom half of the league is stronger. The problem is when you have 18 teams, you're going to have a lot of bottom feeders. So we're going to go through a list, and I'm not going to make a list and give my prediction of who's going to finish first and who's going to finish 18th and 16th. Who cares? You can't bet on who's going to finish 11th. You can't. So I'm just going to do it in tiers. I'm going to have 4 tiers. First tier is the teams that can actually win the conference. Tier number 2 is going to be contenders that should be NCAA teams. Tier 3 are teams that could make the dance if things kind of go their way. And then tier 4 is the bottom feeders that have absolutely no chance in my mind. Also of note, the ACC has dropped from 20 games to 18 games this season. They did that so they could schedule harder because knowing that the conference itself is weak in the bottom half, so they want to have two additional non-con games to help their strength of schedule for NCAA tournament bids. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's start with Tier 4. First college up, Tier 4. Boston College. Went 4-16 last year, head coach Earl Grant. This is almost an impossible job to succeed at. Boston College should almost try to get out of the ACC. Maybe go to the A10. Maybe they'd have a better shot there. They have no shot in this conference. Zero. Next up is Florida State, 8-12 last year. New head coach Luke Lux, assistant at the Sacramento Kings before this. He played at Florida State. I don't see them even getting back to 8 wins. I guess it's hard to even say 8 because they're going to play 2 less games. So that would probably be 7-11. That might be best case scenario. No chance of going dancing. Moving on, Cal went 6-14 last year. Mark Madsen, head coach. The travel is not going to help, but I don't think this is a very good team anyway. This is a bottom team. They went 11-6 at home and 2-11 on the road because the travel is so fucking hard. So maybe Madsen wants to get a new job. Maybe he's regretting taking this job a couple of years ago because they were still in the Pac-12 at that time. Maybe they should try to go back to the Pac-12, but I don't think they take them back after they left. Another West Coast team, also in Tier 4, Stanford. Went 11-9 last year. Head coach Kyle Smith actually finished 7th last year. I expect a drop off from there. I don't see them coming in 7th again. I project them to be under 500. This is a better version of the ACC, and 11-9, that almost feels like their ceiling. I don't think they can get back to that level this year. And the final team in Tier 4 is, I'm going to put Georgia Tech in Tier 4 at 10-10. Damon Stoudemire, head coach. You get to notice I love the former NBA guys. You'll notice that as time goes on. I love the former NBA guys that become college coaches. I get it. It entertains me. It does. Occasionally, Georgia Tech this year, they'll probably occasionally pop up on someone, but they will not be dancing. So let's move on now to Tier 3. First team I have in Tier 3 is the Pitt Panthers, led by Jeff Capel. Went 8-12 last year, and yeah, they were a very disappointing team last year. It started good, but then they just died in conference play. I think it actually started to go down. I think I remember something like a double or triple overtime game against Ohio State in November, and from that point on, it was pretty much all downhill. I kept expecting them to turn it around, but didn't. I kept almost betting on them, expecting, oh, they're going to win this one. They got to win this one. Never did. I don't expect an NCAA tournament bid from them this year either, and I'll just give them a glimmer of hope that it could happen. Next up, we got Clemson. Went 18-2 last year. Head coach Brad Brownell. They lost a ton. One of the guys somehow got an extra year eligibility and played football for this year. And after losing to McNeese in the round of 64, this team will not sniff. Yes, I said sniff. They will not sniff another 18-2 record. They'll probably have the biggest drop in wins from last year. They'll go from 18 to, I don't know, 11, 12. Probably have the biggest drop in wins from last year. Brad Brownell, he's going to have to coach his fucking balls off if this team is going to get back to the dance. Next up, we got Notre Dame. They went 8-12. A lot of teams went 8-12. I guess when you have 18 teams, a lot of teams are going to go 8-12. Micah Shrewsbury loved his post-game interview last year where he basically went fucking crazy. I love when coaches flip out in post-game interviews. It entertains me very much. I love it. He flipped out, and now the pressure has to be brewing. He's got to be feeling. I'm not saying he's on the hot seat, but his seat is definitely warming up. He probably has one more year after this if this doesn't work. Don't expect to see them in the field of 68, but I'm going to put them in Tier 3 nonetheless because it could happen. And the final team I have in Tier 3 is SMU. I almost put this team in Tier 2, but last year they just couldn't win when they stepped up in competition. I'm expecting them to be better this year, 13-7 record last year. They lost every game against better teams. They would beat everyone they should beat, but every time they took a step up in competition, they failed. And if they're going to make the tournament, they're going to have to win a couple of those games this year. So we'll have to just wait and see. I could see them that they were borderline tier 3, tier 2 / tier 2 team. I could have put them in either one. Next team in tier 3 is Miami. 3-17 last year, as Larinaga said, "Fuck this shit. I'm out. I'm too old for this fucking shit. I'm retiring like December. I think he retired." New head coach is Jai Lucas, the former Duke assistant. And guess what? In his first year, he doesn't even have to play Duke. That's some fishy scheduling, if you ask me. Well, have to wait and see what's going to happen with this team. They have a very shitty non-con schedule, so we're not really going to learn too much from that. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen. Next up, Virginia Tech, also 8-12, head coach Mike Young. Similar to Notre Dame, it wouldn't shock me completely if they got in. I would just be surprised if they get in. I don't expect them to get in, but you never know. Wake Forest is next on the docket, 13-7 as well. Steve Forbes, this guy can't wait for the tournament to go to 76 teams, because then he might actually get in once if he still gets to be the coach there by the time it gets there. Should have made it 2 years ago after beating Duke, stormed the court, went crazy, and then dropped the next 2 games versus inferior opponents and missed out on the tournament. I have no trust in Forbes to get this team over the hump. I think it's going to be another year of missed tournament, and he's getting hot. Next, we got Syracuse. They went 7-13 last year. Head coach Adrian Autry. It has not been good for Syracuse since Boeheim retired as well. They got Melo Sun on the team, but unfortunately they still have Autry as head coach. This team might need a new head coach. If he doesn't get this team to the dance, he could be out of a job by April. I think he definitely has to get this team to the dance if he's gonna keep his job. Now we move on to the contenders. This is tier 2. First team I have on tier 2 is Virginia. Ryan Odom takes over. They went 8-12 last year. Ryan Odom beat Virginia with UMBC as a 16 seed. Now he comes back to coach them after a stop at VCU, where he lost last year in the first round to BYU. He should get Virginia back to the tournament right away. I expect this team to make the NCAA tournament this March. Fans might actually have seizures watching this team play because of how fast I think they're going to play. I think this is going to be the complete opposite of the Tony Bennett era. They're going to be like, this is too fast. We're not used to this. This is almost going to be culture shock for Virginia. I do expect to see them qualify for the NCAA tournament. Next on the list, we got NC State. Last year they went 5-15, and now they have a new coach because of that. From Final Four to 5-15, but now Will Wade takes over from McNeese. And this is my sleeper team to win this conference. At plus 750, they are worth a shot. I believe they could do this. He dominated McNeese. He beat Clemson in the first round of the tournament. At plus 750, I'm in. Next on the list, North Carolina. 13-7 last year. I know it probably didn't feel like it was 13-7. Hubert Davis' seat is on fire. If he does not make the NCAA tournament this year, he's probably out of a job. Last year, they won the play-in over San Diego State in a laugher before losing to Ole Miss in the round of 64. Hubert Davis will not survive if this team misses the tournament. He might even have to win a game or two. I don't even know if he gets in, if he survives, if he only wins a game. And now we move to the top teams, to the titles contenders. Tier 1. I only have 2 teams in Tier 1. The first one is Louisville. They went 18-2 last year under Pat Kelsey, resurrected Louisville from the depths of the Penny Kane era, lost to Creighton in the round of 64. They will contend for the title, but at about plus 200 to plus 220, depending on where you look. I just don't see enough value for me to take them. It wouldn't. I could definitely see this team winning the NCAA title. They could be a top 10 team all season. I could definitely see it happening. I just don't like the price I'm getting to take Louisville, so I'm gonna staying away. Now we're going to move to the last team. 19-1 last season, John Shire Duke Blue Devils. Bringing in the Boozer Twins, and all the Boozer Twins do is win. 4 high school state titles. The Nike Peach Jam 17 under, 16 under, and 15 under the last 3 years. Unprecedented run. So I'll tell you what, give me Duke to win the ACC conference at plus 150 with NC State at plus 750 as my underdog sleeper. And that is the Sniffy McGee ACC Conference Edition. If you like what you saw today, subscribe to this channel at youtube.com at The Succulent Selection Show. You can follow me on X at The Sniffy McGee, and I will be back next time, most likely with the Big Ten edition, probably this weekend. So this is Sniffy McGee reminding you to get succulent.